It's time to show you one of my favorite things about our new rig. And it's located right here in this kitchen cabinet. Our washer dryer combination. Now, it's definitely not as awesome as having a full-size separate washer and dryer, but this is all our type of RV has room for, so we love, love, love it. So much better than going to the laundromat. Our model is the Splendide 2100 XC, and it vents out the side of the RV. Let's see, what else should I tell you? It's very small. You can only fit like a day's worth of clothes for 2 people in there. I stuffed the load that I'm gonna put in the washer into this little dishwashing tub. That's what we usually use it for. This fits into our sink usually. And inside the basin here is quite small. It's kind of hard to get an idea for the sizing on camera, so that's why I'm gonna show you how much fits in there. So this is stuffed in here really tight, by the way, but I'm just going to unload it to show you. It's 1 pair of my jeans, 1 t-shirt of Chad's, a long sleeve t-shirt of Chad's, a t-shirt of mine, a really poofy hoodie, 1 kitchen towel, a pair of athletic shorts, 2 pairs of socks. So that's what I'm throwing in here for this load, just to demonstrate. And also, probably make you seasick. Oh my gosh, I'm jiggling the camera everywhere. No redos. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, so it's about half full. I'm also gonna throw in some undergarments, but you know, a little mystery's always good. So I'll be right back. All right, so everything's been added now. Like I said, it's about half full. I mean, it's probably more like 2/3 full. If you're going to run the dryer function after you wash it, then you really don't want it much more than half full. Everything that's in here right now is going to go into the dryer. Sometimes that's not true, and we'll stuff it a little more full, like maybe up to here, if there's quite a few things in there that are going to come out before we dry them, like our mountain biking clothes or other things that we're just going to hang dry completely. So when that's the case, it's okay to fill the tub a little more full, because you're going to take a bunch of it out before you actually start the dryer, and then everything will still have enough room to tumble in there. Okay, but for now, we've got everything loaded in there, so let's shut the door and get this party started. In here, this little drawer pulls out, and that's where your fabric softener, bleach, and detergent go. We never really use bleach, but for the detergent, I don't remember how much it was in the manual. It said you use high efficiency laundry detergent, and I think it was about a tablespoon. We made a little mark here on our cap, so we just know how much to use. If you're going to use the washer function and have the machine go straight to drying mode, then you have to use liquid fabric softener. Otherwise, all of the clothes at the end of the wash cycle are kind of suctioned around the edge of the basin, and then if it goes straight to drying, the clothes just kind of stay stuck there and get wrinkled. But if you use liquid fabric softener, it will actually release the clothes from the edges of the tub, and everything can tumble freely. You can never use dryer sheets in these machines, and just make sure you use the liquid fabric softener. Otherwise, if you don't want to use that, you have to set the machine to just wash your clothes and then have the machine stop. And then when it stops, you have to intervene, take all of the clothes out to loosen them from the sides of the machine and kind of fluff them up and throw them back in there. It's a big pain. I recommend just using liquid fabric softener. We happen to have purchased a detergent that has fabric softener built right into it. So we just measure some out, dump it in the detergent bin here, shut it, and then pick the settings that we want to use. We pretty much always use a permanent press setting, usually number 9, the express setting, because it's shorter and then our clothes are done faster. If they're really dirty, we might select a heavier cycle, but we always use permanent press, and here's what we've learned. In the permanent press cycle, this is important if you don't want many wrinkles. When it washes and then it spins the water out, it spins a lot faster or harder, I don't know, on the cotton heavy duty setting, and that seems to make things get more wrinkly. So through trial and error, we've learned permanent press is the way to go. So that's what we pretty much always use. Number 9 here. These dials are very confusing. So if you get this model, just realize that number 10 and number 5 are dry only. So first you need it on one of these settings here. Oh, and 13 is dry only. So all of these solid color ones correspond to the numbers over here. And then just number 10 on its own is a permanent press dry cycle. And here's where you choose your time for the dry time. So if you want it to just wash and then stop so you can take some clothes out that aren't going to dry, or if you're not using fabric softener, you need it to stop so you can fluff up your clothes and throw them back in, make sure you have the dryer on off. Our standard setting that we do is the permanent press, where it's going to go straight to drying when it's done. We use warm water and we set this timer usually for 40 minutes. Well, actually we set it to off if we need to get things out that aren't going to dry, like our mountain bike clothes or like certain undergarments or whatever. If we don't have anything in there like that, we let it go straight to dry for 40 minutes. Through trial and error, we've just discovered that 40 minutes is a really great amount of time for like our shirts and jeans and things to get mostly dry, like maybe 3/4 of the way dry, but not all the way dry. And this is important because if you take them out at that point and then hang them up, they'll air dry the rest of the time and they won't get wrinkled. If you let them dry all the way in this tiny dryer until they're completely dry, you are not going to be happy with the condition of those clothes. So 40 minutes is kind of our go-to time. If the load is a little lighter or a little heavier, we might do 20 minutes or 60 minutes, but for the most part, we do 40. Now, the washer itself on the setting we use takes about 55 minutes. So adding the 40 more minutes on there for drying, and it's about an hour 35 from start until the time we take everything out that we're going to hang up. Then everything that we're not going to hang dry because we don't care about the wrinkles, like pajamas or undershirts or athletic shorts or just things that are a material that aren't really going to wrinkle, we throw those back in the dryer, or leave them in the dryer, I guess, for another 20 to 60 minutes, depending how big the load is. Usually ours is 40 minutes. So it's about an hour and 35 minutes that you have to be available to babysit it. And then another 20 to 60 minutes of the machine working, but we're not really involved. A lot of times we just do that last part overnight because it's stuff that doesn't matter if it wrinkles, like towels or the other things I just listed. So it doesn't really take any time of our day. We don't have to be home. We don't have to be available for that. So it's about an hour and a half time commitment per load, and then plus the extra dry time. Oh, what? You want to hear what it sounds like? All right. Let's get it started. Okay, so first you have to turn the power on and then hit start. The door is locking and the magic begins. Haven't really used these settings, by the way, low heat for the dryer, although I am wondering if I did put it on low heat and then just extend the dry time, maybe I would get even better performance as far as getting wrinkles out. I think we've used pre-wash a time or two when we had really dirty clothes. Extra rinse we haven't needed. And low spin, honestly, I don't even know what that means. All right, so you can hear it's filling up. These lights will tell you where it's at in the cycle. And when it's done, it makes like a pretty loud clicking noise to let you know that the door is unlocked. But one downside to this machine, it does not have any kind of built-in timer. Oh, the tumbling action. There's no built-in timer, so we just use like our microwave or our phones or something to time it. Side note, this is the only magnetic appliance I have in my house, so the one remaining magnet that I have from when I didn't live in an RV, I had to put it on my washer. So now I see that every time I do laundry, which by the way is every day. Pretty much every night we do a load of laundry. And I should mention that I was a little weary. I didn't really want to get one of these machines because I didn't used to be home very much when we lived in our little camper van. But now that we have so much more space and so much to do here, we're home a lot more. But even so, we tend to wait until like the last hour and a half before we go to bed. Like right now it's 8:30 at night, so that we're just home. We're just around anyway, so it's really not any inconvenience to babysit the washer dryer. And then we tend to hang our clothes up at night. I'll show you later, across a clothesline up there. So we like to do that right before we go to bed so they're not in our way. In the summer or when it's nicer out, we hang them outside, but this time of year, they get hung up in the front of the RV. Or as a backup plan, we also have a clothesline in our shower. All right, so it's just filling up some more. This part of the cycle really isn't very loud. I mean, it's right here by where we eat and right where we cook, and it doesn't really ever bother us. The noisiest part is when it spins to get the extra water out, and that kind of shakes the RV a little bit, probably like this. But still, so worth it. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. The spin cycle. So you can hear it has a bit of a chugga 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 and a vibration and a spin, and there'll be some whooshes intermixed there. It does shake the RV a little bit sometimes. In fact, I was just laying in bed and I felt the RV shake, so I hopped up to come and make this part of the video to show you. But again, nothing I wouldn't skip the laundromat for. Alright, this is literally the fastest, noisiest part of the spin cycle. So this is as bad as it gets. It's not like it's anything that we have to yell over. And I don't know if you can see, but the washer does shake a bit. So now we wait, and in 50 minutes, when this is done spinning and drying, I'll hang everything up, and tomorrow we'll have clean, dry clothes. If you're wondering how loud the dryer is, here you go. It's very, very quiet. So after the load has dried for 40 minutes, then we hang everything up here on this retractable clothesline that Chad installed. Or if we're going to be using the TV or this area of the RV, we have a second retractable clothesline that Chad hung up across our showers, so we can just hide everything there. We don't have to live with clothes dangling in our living room all of the time, so that's really awesome. Here's that shower clothesline I was mentioning. It's retractable, so one end is up here and it stretches out to go across to here. I'll try to show you. This just pulls out and slides into here, and then you tighten up this side, and then we can hang our clothes across here. It's a diagonal kind of corner shower, so there's enough clearance for the clothes to hang this way, like so. And we can hang quite a bit across there. Then when you're done with the clothesline, you just loosen up this side and then remove little line and it will retract it back in. And the one in the living room works the exact same way. For the most part though, we tend to hang them out here because we have our dehumidifier already set up out here. So we usually just do our laundry so that the stuff gets hung up kind of right before we go to bed. But here's our dehumidifier. We bought this a few months ago because our windows were getting kind of foggy in the night when the temperatures started to drop for the winter, and learned as a very welcome side effect that it actually dries our clothes a lot faster. I should show you. So this actually has a fast dry setting mode, which it's on right now, and that's for actually drying clothes. The fan just runs stronger, a lot of air blows out of here, and it's warm air that comes out, and that helps dry the clothes since they're hanging right here. We could just wheel this in the bathroom if we needed to, if we were drying clothes in there, but for the most part we tend to leave them hung up out here unless we get really behind on laundry and end up running a load in the morning. Then we might hang it in the bathroom so it's not in our way during the day. Highly recommend the dehumidifier to dry your clothes faster, but also because when you're hanging all of these half wet clothes, you're adding a lot of humidity to your rig, so the dehumidifier helps counteract that, and it's been working out really, really good. And then next morning we've got completely dry clothes ready to be taken to the closet and hung up there. It's so awesome, so much better than going to the laundromat. Don't miss that at all. Okay, so full disclosure, some of these clothes did come out a little bit wrinkly, and that's because I tend to overload the washing machine. And that's a problem because when it goes to dry, there's not enough room in there for things to tumble without getting wrinkly. But we got way behind on laundry. This is actually 2 different loads of laundry, and even for 2 loads, we really shouldn't have that many things hanging up there. But we were really busy and gone all day yesterday, and I really wanted to catch up on laundry. So we've got a wee bit of wrinkliness going on here, as I'll show you. So when you have someone like Chad, you don't end up with wrinkles. When I do it, you end up with some wrinkling because I don't have the patience to wait to do another load. So as you can see, there's some wrinkles on here. These are just some kind of grubby shorts that he doesn't wear for anything nice, so it really doesn't matter. These are just bike liners, so it doesn't matter at all. These are just some work jeans. You can see there's a little bit of kind of crinkling right here. But again, they're just grubby clothes, so it doesn't matter. These are mine. These came out really wrinkly. They're stretched jeans, so I'm hoping when I put them on, I just got them, so I don't know, but I'm hoping when I put them on, it takes care of that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to throw them back in another load because we don't have an iron. This is a work shirt for Chad. It's really not too bad considering how heavy I loaded the washer. This sweatshirt is really forgiving, so it didn't really care that it was stuffed in there. It came out nice and not wrinkled. T-shirt, looking pretty good. This material, again, super forgiving. Not a single crinkle in there, even though it was stuffed in. And my work sweatshirt. Shout out to KOA, hey! It's got a couple wrinkles in it, but some of these wrinkles, once you put them on, your body heat kind of releases them, so a little bit of wrinkling is just not a huge deal to me. The only item here in question would be these jeans, which are looking pretty rough. You can see all these creases here. Those are probably gonna be a redo. Oops, my bad. Maybe I'll learn this time to have a little more patience. I doubt it.